Hey everybody, Dr. Gnomsky here, and I want to go over our last assignment. And the reason why I'm making this into a video is for a couple of reasons. One, I want to be able to share it with both mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, parents, and students. And also, I want you to be able to reference this if you miss class or you're stumped. This will at least be another way you can listen to what we have going on in class the last week in Honors ELA. So last week we read three stories that had to deal with equity, and we talked about implicit bias and microaggressions, caring, and equity versus equality. And this is your essay topic, thinking about all of those things. So the authors in Sweetness, What Are You Anyways, and The Woman in the Snow all wrote about racism explicitly and implicitly. The authors use their voice as writers to share their views on what is happening in society in terms of equality and race. How do these views apply to 2021? And are these stories still relevant today? So that's what I want you to kind of start thinking about. Now, using examples from the text along with what we talked about in class and your own experiences and your own thinking, analyze how the pieces of literature relate or do not relate to America today. So this is going to be a big analysis piece. And the two scales that we're going to be grading is the evidence and literature. And if I will share the rubric with you guys, but this, you can get a 4.0 on this, making sure that you have a lot of evidence and you're really analyzing everything. But the goal is to get a 3.0 on this. And I also will be taking a writing mechanics grade. All quarter, you've worked with Mrs. Rausch on your sentence types and where the commas go and all of that, simple, compound, complex, compound, complex. So this would be the final piece for me, grading your mechanics. Now, you can do some pre-thinking on this because this is a very, very big topic. So you can start answering these questions if you want. What is the message of the story? If you need to pull out some direct quotes, indirect quotes, you might have to look up what is happening in our country if you're not quite sure. What knowledge did you already have on these topics? And how did what we talked about in class relate to any of this? Now, the format of your paper, and I can't give you page numbers or paragraphs, this is just a paper. So remember, you want your introduction, you want to warm up to the reader in general. What do I need to know about these topics? Remember, don't just bam, get me into the paper, warm me up, give me some introduction, maybe a quote. Tell me a little bit now moving into the stories or current events. And then the last sentence is your thesis statement. Then the body of the paper is all of your support. And this is the evidence and literature scale, making sure that you have evidence from the stories, your own thinking. Does it apply today? Doesn't it? Don't forget your reasoning, those common sense rules. Typically, people do not want to be treated differently by their skin color. Don't forget to tie it all together with your own thinking. And then your conclusion, you're going to tie it up. Your thesis statement needs to be first, but reworded. And then from there, you're going to tie up your major themes that you developed through your paper. Is there going to be a call to action, possibly? You know, what should we do with our voices that these authors did with their voices? And then leave the reader, which is me, something to think about. Now in ELA, I have here all of our equity resources. So I have all the stories and everything we talked about last week. So you can refresh your mind and think about that. I also have, we're going to do a Jamboard in class, thinking of like how these stories all relate. So that'll help get the ideas flowing. And then I also have here sign up for help. So I will have very specific office hours this entire week in which you can sign up for 15-minute slots and I can sit down and we can talk through things and I can help you. Okay, this is due at 3 o'clock on Friday and we will go into a lot more detail in class, but this at least kind of gives you an idea if you're missing class or you need your folks to let them know what you need help on. So hopefully this is a nice introduction video to what we're going to do the last week in Honors ELA for reading.